Hello, and welcome to an evening with Skywatchers and Oysterknife, a night with performances, talkbacks, and more. My name is Natalia Vigil, she, her, hers, and I'm the Executive Director of the Queer Cultural Center. I'm here to welcome you to The Future Is, our National Queer Arts Festival. To honor community care and wellness, this year, our 24th year, is our very first all-virtual festival. We miss being with you, but we're so happy to get to be in virtual community with you today and to celebrate the incredible artists who are truly the future. Tonight includes Queer as Tuesday Night, Miss Carol by Skywatchers, followed by an excerpt of Mouthful by Oysterknife, and some very intimate talkbacks. Queer as Tuesday Night is an intergenerational cabaret remembering and honoring the Tenderloin's history of queer political organizing while also imagining its future queer revolution. Mouthful explores faith in the Black body told through dance and song by queer artists Gabriel and Chibueze. If you love tonight's show, please encourage people to watch other shows in the festival. Tomorrow at 5 p.m., Maya Chinchilla brings us Central American Unicorns in Space, a queer digital cabaret of prayers, movement, and performance by Central American artists. You can read more about the entire festival by viewing our virtual catalog online at www.queerculturalcenter.org. Go there to learn about more commissioned work that you can see throughout the month of June. And if you're an artist and you're inspired by the work you see here and you have an idea that you've dreamed up and you've always wanted to see come alive, we encourage you to go to QCC's Creating Queer Community program, the commissioning program that helped to make much of this festival possible. Many of our artists were audience members just like you. So follow us at QCCSF to keep up with the latest. Lastly, we have audience surveys. Audience surveys will be sent to you via Eventbrite after this event. You'll also see a scannable QR code during the show, and surveys can be found on our website. These surveys help us find out who is in our audience. They help to make sure that we're fulfilling our mission. They give us information that we share with our funders and with our community. But they also allow us to create programming that you want to see. So please fill that out after the show. And now, join me in welcoming Skywatchers and Oysterknife to the virtual stage.
Do I need a mic? Or?
Yes.
Are you here? Okay, got it. So, hey everyone, my name is Jose Abad. I'm one of the Skywatchers artist facilitators with ABD Productions Skywatchers program. I'm really excited to share with you all what we've been working on the past couple of months. Basically, Queer as a Tuesday Night is an offshoot of what we normally do in Skywatchers, which is hanging out, making music, making dances and performances, and sharing our truths. And so, Queer as a Tuesday Night is specifically for our queer and trans Skywatcher ensemble members, and I'm really, really, really happy to have included our youth ensemble members this time. We haven't done that yet, so it's really great. Yeah, so without further ado, I present Queer as a Tuesday Night, Miss Carol.
Dissatisfied with the political system, longtime Tenderloin resident Chrissy, aka Miss Carol, has just stopped giving any fucks. She no longer votes, campaigns, or marches, but instead grumpily goes about her daily rhythms, genuinely believing that her voice doesn't matter. One day, as she is walking along, grumpily, she is stopped by a rather handsome canvasser for a local LGBTQ protest.
We need to march tomorrow, 12 o'clock, 12 p.m. That's noon in another type of phrase. We're going to go to Civic Center and we are going to march for our goddess-given LGBTQAI++ rights. Excuse me, miss. Excuse me. I am so sorry to bother you, but I will get straight to the point. No, I will get gay to the point. Tomorrow at 12 o'clock, that means noon, 12 p.m., we are gathering at Civic Center to campaign for our goddess-given LGBTQAI++ rights. We are going to get our voices heard and then swipe up the patriarchy from underneath that. Will you take this leaflet and tell your friends and join us?
Bah fucking humbug! I don't have the time, you don't have the time, but they don't have time. So just get the hell out of here. No, bye.
Now that, Miss Carroll, wasn't very nice.
Who is that?
That's not important for now, but I'll give you a hint. My name rhymes with Lefty Faggot. You need to be shaken out of your apathy, Miss Carroll.
How do you know my name? Where do you come from?
Now, why do you keep on asking the wrong questions? Now listen. You are going to be visited by a series of specters from queerness past, present, and future. Because what you need, Missy, is a history lesson, a lens onto the realities of today, and a bit of a peek into what is in store for our community. What was, what is, and what will be. They'll all be coming to you tonight. It's going to be wild, so brace yourself, Miss Carroll.
Listen Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. Ni le bien qu'on m'a fait, ni le mal, tout ça m'est bien égal. Non, rien de rien.
Hello? Oh, Miss Carol. Miss Carol. Hello there. This is the ghost of Queerness Past. I'm here to educate you on some little-known history. Your history. You might know about Stonewall, Harvey Milk, and all that, but do you know what was happening within the decade before Stonewall? Let me enlighten you. May 1959, Los Angeles, to protest police harassment. Transgender women, drag queens, lesbians, and gay men clashed with the police at Cooper Donuts, a hangout for them, and street hustlers who were frequently harassed by the Los Angeles Police Department, or LAPD. Police arrested 3 people, but other patrons began pelting the police with donuts and coffee cups. The LAPD called for backup and arrested a number of rioters. The original detainees were able to escape. September 19, 1964, New York City. To protest the U.S. military's treatment of gay people, a small group picketed the Whitehall Street Induction Center after the confidentiality of gay men's draft records was violated. This action has been identified as the first gay rights demonstration in the United States. July 4th, 1965, Philadelphia, General Informational Picket. Organized by ECHO, demonstrators picketed at Independence Hall. Picketers returned each year through 1969 for what came to be known as the Annual Reminder, beginning a new era in Philadelphia LGBT culture as a presence in the community. August 1966, San Francisco. Gay and transgender customers rioted at Compton's in response to continued police harassment. The restaurant and the surrounding neighborhood sustained heavy damage. The following night, the demonstrators threw up another picket line, which quickly descended into new violence and damage to the restaurant. March 17, 1968, Los Angeles, to protest entrapment and harassment by the LAPD. 2 drag queens known as the Princess and the Duchess held a St. Patrick's Day party in Griffith Park, a popular cruising spot and a frequent target of police activity. More than 200 gay men socialized through the day. August 1968, Los Angeles, to protest a police raid on The Patch, a gay bar. Following the arrest of 2 patrons, the Patch owner, Lee Gates, organized the other patrons to move on the police station. After buying out a nearby flower shop, the demonstrators caravaned to the station, festooned it with flowers, and bailed out the arrested men. Stonewall riots, June 28, 1969. Stonewall riots, June 28, 1969.
And then that was it. I just shot him. And then it struck me about what Harvey tried to do. And I said, well, I'll go talk to him. I said, at least maybe he'll be honest with you.
I came to the Tenderloin almost 20 years ago. My eyes ablaze with crystal meth, 1 pair of boots, and about 82 T-cells. This was back when AIDS meant a quick slide through poverty into the grave, and all I wanted was a room that I could lock against the voices of my dead friends. That first year, as part of a workshop on grief and dying, I wrote my own obituary. It included all the relevant details, some modest accomplishments of which I hope my family might be proud. I am a man of few regrets. The path my life had taken was one of my own choosing. Only one thing bugged me. I had always intended to one day seriously dedicate myself to writing poems, but that never happened. I just never got around to it. So although I love poetry almost the entirety of my life, and despite the praise for my potential and promise, I believed that I was about to die without being able to call myself the one thing I had always wanted to be, and that was a poet. So it was then that I decided, okay, I will never be the best of poets. I might not even be a very good poet. Nevertheless, when the final summation of my life was written, I would be called a poet. This meant writing and more writing. This meant a belief in the future. This did not come easy, and I did not do this alone. I have many to thank. I will be forever indebted to Hospitality House, and much credit is due to my neighbors. You see, the Tenderloin is a place where the broken, the deranged, the damaged, and the diseased are warehoused. For many, it's the last stop before they bag you up for the morgue. Thankfully, the people of the Tenderloin have their own ideas of how their lives should be, and they live their lives with defiance, often with courage, and with the freedom of a people who were never meant to survive. Their example has been instructive. So while I thought I had come to the Tenderloin to die, it turns out I'm more alive. See that woman arguing with her hair? See her sister among the pigeons? Is it obscenities they mutter, or is it prayer? To me, it does not matter. See that panhandler with a handmade sign? See that young skateboarder sick for heroin? It is among these that I have found shelter, sanctuary, acceptance, respect, even affection. Artists, we are not special. The work we do is no more important than that of others. We are at best a mere reflection of the words, the aspirations, the mythologies, and the freedoms of our community. But all this comes at a price. For as the sanctuary found by birds in the flock is paid for those lost to the talons of a hawk, it is the most vulnerable among us, the addicted, the ill, the perverse, the criminal, the old who must bear the brunt of poverty. It is they who suffer most the contempt and violence that America rains down upon the poor. My freedom is paid for by their lives, and it is they who I want to honor with my coins. Mine is a community of misfits and outlaws, people who defy convention, people who transgress borders, people who push against society's boundaries, and in doing so, expand the possibilities for what the rest of us might be.
Bah, humbug! I mean, that was really sad there, but what does that have to do with me? I mean, you know, I saw all this stuff, and and some of it's, little this and that, and I get very confused, with all this symbolism and everything, and I just don't understand how this has to do with me. I mean, what is this all about? I really...
Miss Carol! Hey, Miss Carol! It's a tragedy when people walk in this world and feel alone. I mean, the last time I checked, there are 7 billion people on this planet. Are you alone when you have 300,000 Instagram followers? Are you alone when you have hundreds of contacts in your iPhone? Are you alone when that guy down the street just can't leave you alone? It's a tragedy when people focus more on the ones that hate them and less on the ones that love them. Keep their haters closer than their biggest fan. And then I realized something that moves each and every one of us. Connection. Connection to be, connection to see, connection to love, connection to move the way you want to.
make it rain, girl, make it.
What's up?
Oh yeah, hey dog, hey what's up?
When the sweaty walls are banging, I don't fuck with family planning. Make it rain, girl, make it rain. 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 I don't see no cup. What if it's just me? As real as it can be. I've been looking up to them. Where can't you see? Someone on the bucket. When I am so free. Mother Russia in my cup, and my glass is fogging up. Oh yeah, hey dog, hey what's up?
Oh yeah, hey dog, hey what's up?
When the sweaty walls are banging, I don't fuck with family planning. Make it rain, girl, make it rain. 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 Make it rain, girl, make it. Mother Russia in my cup. Make it rain, girl, make it rain. 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 Make it rain, girl, make it rain.
When we focus on the ones that focus on the trends from Hollywood, that focus on the stop! Look around, see what you are missing. Look up!
Up, like literally up, like everybody look up. Yeah. Yeah, look at me, Miss Carol. I am here. We are here. The lesbians are still here. And we have stories. I've got a story. Thank you. I moved to San Francisco in 1982. I started a dance company in 1984. In 1987, I came out and promptly lost my job at the dance studio and lost a few dancers. Their boyfriends were afraid they might catch it. Between then and the 20 years later when I made this dance, it was a long series of stories of pining after butch women. I still love them so much, and they still break my heart today. So, Miss Carol, let's think about the lesbians. A little lesbian love? Ow! For you all? Yeah. Let's do it!
There's a lobby with 900 windows. There's a tree where the dogs go to die. There's a piece that was torn from the morning, and it hangs in the gallery of frost. Aye, 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 aye. Take this waltz, take this waltz. Take this waltz with a clamp on its jaws. bed where the moon has been sweating, in a crowd filled with footsteps and sand. Take this waltz, take this waltz, take its broken waist in your hand. This waltz, this waltz, this waltz, this waltz, with its very own breath of brandy and death, dragging its tail in the sea. There's a concert hall in Vienna where your mouth had 1,000 reviews. There's a bar where the boys have stopped talking. They've been sentenced to death by the blues. Ah, but who is it climbs to your picture with a garland of freshly cut tears? Take this waltz, take this waltz, take this waltz, it's been dying for years. There's an attic where children are playing, where I've got to lie down with you soon, in a dream of Hungarian lanterns, in the midst of some sweet afternoon.
Sorry, thank you. That was so great, so great. It's like scintillating, right? Really wonderful. So just always room for a little refinement. We gotta embrace the duality a little bit, right? So, so we're kind of having the same kind of fun, but we need to have different kind of fun, right? So, like Clara, butch it up. Okay, like with me a little. Ha! Ha! Yeah, not ha up here, but like down. It's all here in the gut, right? Ha! 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 Better. Yeah. So Malia went like the whole breast thing, all about the approach rather than the arrival. Arrival not as interesting. The approach is everything. So it's sort of like, yeah. Here we go. Let's just take that again. Yeah. Okay. No tittering. And well, like you can smile, but you cannot smile. Like that whole like it's gotta just like suppress it. Kevin Spacey. Suppress it. That's the butch approach. So all the like that open mouth kind of enjoyment. Right? Are we there? Okay. So and with that like bite that's coming up in a minute, like yeah, the whole like you're swaying, yeah. Yeah. Let it go into the body, but not so much that you actually are swooning yet. You know where it comes from. Right. Yeah. Okay, great. Where exactly we left off would be fabulous. Thanks.
That old saber you've chained to your sorrow, all your sheep and your lilies of snow. Take this waltz, take this waltz, with its I'll never forget you, you know. This waltz, this waltz, this waltz, this waltz, with its very own breath of brandy and death, dragging its tail in the sea.
The presence sure is something. Life all around, and music is in the airs of change. Listen to them sing.
Once I lived a life my money, I didn't care. Always taking my friends out for a good time. Spending my money on gin and cheap wine. But just as soon as my dough got low, not a friend, no place to go. If I ever get my hands on $1 again, I'm gonna squeeze it. I promise I'll squeeze and make that eagle grin. Nobody knows you when you're down and out. In your pocket, not one penny. Your friends, you haven't any. But just as soon as you're back on your feet again, everybody is your long lost friend. Mighty strange, but without a doubt, nobody knows you when you're down and out. Nobody knows you when you're down and out.
Parents, clasp the children, tie them to your breasts and beam like flashlights. Hold the children, praise them with buckets of raspberries, shiny as jelly. Give them you. Grasp the children, study their eyes, talk to them like kittens. Tell them they have the sturdy grace of deer, communal peace of stones, generosity of the sea, able, capable, and ready. Tell them they can learn to be happy, no matter what else is true. Parents, grip the children with bare paws of glee. Press them to your heart, sing high into their precious ears, drip strawberry down through their lives. Tell the children they are ships and shores. Tell them they are mountains and towns that will thrive 100 years. Say, the world is sending them a ticket. They just have to find the train that's theirs.
Should you be as Ishi, the last of your tribe, hide. Shield your eyes from gems and electronics. Embrace your loneliness. Eat maggots if you must. But remember this. Priests, preachers, cops, psychiatrists, and PhDs are the enemy. They are pollution. They will smile and stroke your confusion. They will fondle your brain. They dissect dreams. They make profit of ghosts and bones. They want to trap our spirits in a book. They will claim to want to help you find us, but we are gone. You must remember this. Should you be as Ishi, the last of our tribe, hide, hunt only at night, find one who might love you, tell him our names. Whisper them like nasty curses as you fuck in the dark.
Still not convinced, are we? You haven't heard enough to convince you? What is there to be convinced about? Close your eyes. Imagine 50 years into the future. Imagine being alone. No one to care for you. No community. No community that grows with time to be there by your bed, to hold your hand, to offer you love. Now imagine 50 years into the future. You have community. You have community in this tower. We're all here. We are your family.
Gabriel and Lethal, Samantha Kendall, Anne-Marie Brewer, Zulfikar Alibuto, Aaron Salinas, aka Peekaboo Jenkins, Kevin, and Dr. Dream. We had another cast member who was here at the beginning of the show, Silver Sonic, who left. Silver Sonic. And also thank you to Justine. Yeah, and thank you to Counterpulse and Counterpulse's co-production program. We're really, really, really grateful for the opportunity to show this work here. Oh, I'm Jose Abad. This is one of our other Skywatchers, Dino. He wasn't in the show, but he's here to support. And speaking of support, if you're interested in supporting this work and supporting us in creating this work, we'd love, love, love if you could throw some coins towards our emergency fund. We have a fund just in case any of our Skywatchers have any sort of medical emergencies, housing emergencies, in which they need a little bit of help. Or if you haven't given any organizations your year-end donation, think about us, ABD Productions. There you go. Yeah, so thank you very much.
My name is Malia. My pronouns are she, her. I'm currently the Associate Artistic Director of Skywatchers and Associate Artistic Director of Skywatchers. And I was one of the lesbian lovers in the piece.
My name is Gigi Godard, and I was Miss Carol in the production. And I'm in San Francisco, and I'm she, her.
Oh, greetings, friends. My name is Jose Abad. My pronouns are they, them. Coming to you live from unceded Ramaytush Ohlone territory, colonially known as San Francisco, California. I am a former Skywatchers artist facilitator and current guest artist for their upcoming May production. And for this particular show, Queer as a Tuesday Night, I was co-director, co-choreographer, and just kind of helped each ensemble member and different folks develop their pieces.
Yeah, I also just want to name that Jose, I think you are really an instigator of Queer as a Tuesday Night as a whole.
Poppin', the corn too, my sis Gabriel Christiani.
Hey, it's pronounced Gabriel Christian. Nice to meet you. They, them pronouns. I am coming from Huichin, which is also unceded Chechenia Ohlone land, also known as Oakland colonially speaking. Also co-director, playing mainly the role of Black Pussy and an organizer for Prop C in this piece. And also did a little dancing with Malia and Jose.
I'm Clara Pinsky. My pronouns are she, her. And I was Malia's lesbian lover in this show. And off screen at the time, I was the program manager for Skywatchers. Currently in Philadelphia, PA, Lenny Lenape land.
Hi, everyone. I am Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. Some of you may know me as Zulfi. I used to live in San Francisco until quite recently. I live now in Karachi, Pakistan, which is a full 12 hours ahead of San Francisco. So I couldn't join the session with everyone else, but folks have been extremely kind to let me sit in, or to let me send this in rather.
I guess I want to hear just first from folks what it is like to revisit this work. Just for context for folks watching, we performed it in December 2018. So almost 2.5 years ago now. And how does it feel to look back on it?
I think the standout moments were just choosing the names. I think we did maybe 3 Queer as a Tuesday nights, and even that was an interesting process of choosing that name. I think Anne had referenced Queer as a $2 bill, so we thought Queer as a Tuesday night. And then Miss Carol also sort of feminizing the whole Christmas Carol theme, right? Making it not about a grouchy man in London, but instead about a grouchy trans woman in San Francisco, and figuring out, well, what's the best title? How can we get people to know this is a Christmas Miss Carol? Christmas Carol, you see what happened there? And then also bringing people on board, and the fact that, you know, as a queer night, we were able to just rally up so many people in such a short amount of time, and people were so enthusiastic each time, and we were always so worried that things wouldn't go as planned, and sometimes they didn't, but nobody noticed. And overall, I think you could tell that there was a lot of camaraderie and there was a lot of love in the room, which allowed people to shine.
Yeah, it just felt really good to revisit it and be like, yo, actually so much of that was a little bit, it's a little bit hard to kind of like work within this fantastical framework while also trying to integrate extremely like personal stories, and like really highlight the experiences and practices of like the various ensemble members that we're working with, right? And so they required a lot of like finessing to make some sort of cohesive thing. And I don't know if we did that, but I think I really enjoyed what we did. And it was just really beautiful to like, yeah, at the very end, like see all of the different folks that it took to make it happen. And like really thinking about people overcoming super challenging moments in their life to like get it together to be on stage for this work, you know? And so like for that to have been the case, it like, yeah, it just reminds me how important it was, and like, I don't know, how nice it is to like make space for folks to be able to be in a creative process and also like live in joy and community and curiosity, storytelling with each other. I mean, the beginning is so funny. Like, I really, 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 really love it. And I'm so sad that Hefty wasn't able to be in the work, but I'm really glad that she was at least able to be there as a narrator. And it just also reminded me I would love to like check in with them and make sure that they're okay. Because, you know, things have been a little rough. And so I'm like, oh, dang, there are folks that I would really like to tap back in and make sure they're all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, such a smart accommodation though with the voiceover for Hefty. It's like one of those, you know, it would have never happened if there wasn't the restraint of Hefty just not being able to perform, which is such a bummer, but such a genius rework of that situation. Gabe, Clara, any reflections?
This is the most cohesive. We did 2 of these, I guess, or 3 of these. I forget exactly if it was 2 or 3 now, but 2. Yeah, so the first one definitely felt more like a showcase or like a cabaret. We were working with just sort of like a series of acts that might have had some centricity around Gigi's character, the future trans president, that we sort of built that show as a centerpiece of that show. But this show felt more like we had a protagonist in Gigi and also had a clear desire to tell a narrative around a really pretty instrumental and a real part of this neighborhood is like disillusionment is a part of the texture of being in any neighborhood, honestly, in this era, but also back then. How do we talk about disillusionment without making it feel like a lecture? So I feel like humor is like one of queerness's main weapons against fraying at the edges and feeling like there's no hope. I feel like humor is like the solution, and this clearly is a piece that we let humor take a lot of center stage in how we told the story of disillusionment in the neighborhood or through folks who felt disempowered or disenfranchised. So it's really helpful, really helpful to look at this work back now 3 years later and say, oh yeah, we can still do that. It's not actually an impossible motivation or way of working, even in the most dire of times, you know? Yeah, and I think a standout moment is just the way that I think we kind of concretized a way of doing choreography with folks, which is like, rather than imposing choreography on anybody, we're like, you dance and we're gonna echo and flock, we're gonna flock behind you and make you look good. So I feel like that piece of Samantha where she just did her work and we just blocked her. We gave her a little background. I think that was something we did with Rose in the previous production. We've done this a lot, and I feel like it ends up being a really, and also with Lee. I think it came even from Lee back in Skywatchers. I Got a Treat to Tell back in 2017. So I feel like there's some things that are clearly like the threads of Skywatchers process that I love to see employed in different ways, and I'm like excited to see how we keep doing that in the next piece we're doing as well.
Yeah, I mean, I would just echo like the joy, the humor thing, that really stands out to me watching it now. Also, I feel like I get the piece so much more now than when we made it in 2018, which, as Jose said, like there was like a lot going on for us at Skywatchers. We were doing like 3 big events, I think, that month. And so it was crazy. And it was a super fast process. But looking back at it, like it really does have a really interesting and like meaningful arc to it. And I think Gigi anchors it like really beautifully. And also the piece with sort of like history that Gigi does towards the beginning, and then Jesse's poems throughout sort of like give this a real like telling of queer history that's super beautiful, alongside, you know, the humor and the levity and all of that kind of stuff. It was so fun for us, Malia, to get to work together and sort of have this, I guess this is sort of a standout moment, but just like prepping for that piece and being in sort of a wormhole of time, like even like rehearsing in, you know, studios that the piece might have been rehearsed in 20 years before. And that, you know, we had sort of Anne coaching from this, you know, from her perspective, and we were bringing sort of our burgeoning queerness like to the picture. Yeah, just super sweet to get to be in that process.
Yeah, and like different and new conversations just around gender and from a different lens. That was really exciting. I definitely want to talk about just like the importance of intergenerational queer connection and queer art making. And like, I think that that's, you know, something that we don't do intentionally. Like, it's not like, let's get an intergenerational cast of queer folks. It's just what happens with Skywatchers. And I think it's so beautiful and so important. And to have that sort of like artistic and like personal mentorship with Anne, as well as just the, you know, having folks like Gigi and Sonic and just like an intergenerational conversation is really important and exciting. And I want to
people younger than us too.
Yeah, and we have the Larkin Street Youth
Ensemble,
yeah. Which is just like it's so amazing. Yeah, I want to circle back to that point, and I also just want to say that, like, for me, just to expand on what you said, Clara, like I feel like that was a really I actually remember texting you and being like, it's really important to like have this queer space right now. Like, I was like, you know, I think that we were both in like a funny time in understanding our queerness, and like to have a really like specific and like clear container for it was really it's so helpful. And that's like, we know that about queer community, like that's why we need queer community, right? But I don't know, it like actually looking back on the piece feels really big to me, because it's like it was such a helpful way for me to begin embodying and understanding myself as a queer person.
And those costumes.
It's the best costume.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, was like 95% just Jose's closet.
It's just like collaborating with Jose, there always becomes a moment of like, okay, what are we going to wear? Jose's just going to take out their entire closet and we're going to make looks.
Right. I mean, my closet's basically just full of stuff that I never really touch until critical moments. And I'm like, this is why I kept you. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I'm actually, I know that I have like shifted roles, but I would love to see A Queer as a Tuesday Night Part 3 happen one day. That would be really amazing.
We still need a Queer Christmas Carol again. We still need A Queer as a Tuesday Night. again, and we need to bring queer people back together so that we can take stories like A Christmas Carol and make it our own, and be in community.
The working title was Queer Cooties, and we were thinking it was like in the early stages of COVID, before lockdown, before anything, but when it just was like, oh, COVID-19, Corona, and we were just thinking about like Contagion and playing
Queerness.
that. But
yeah, and how y'all turned even gayer from Queer as a Tuesday Night. Great. Like, the cooties are real, y'all.
Yeah, I think Anne says in the thing, right? She had her dancers quit because their boyfriends were worried that they'd catch it.
Oysterknife says the future is spiritual, and this beautiful dance performance by Mouthful explores faith in the Black body told through dance and song by queer artists Gabriel and Chibueze. This excerpt from the longer work originally premiered at the Black Choreographers Festival in February 2020. Looking forward to more coming from Mouthful. Here we are, Mouthful.
alive and it is so. We are alive and it is so. We are alive and it is so. Those who greet the full moon howling, those who cannot feel the flesh of the land, those who cannot cry without drowning.
a mouthful of testimony. Melancholy in my blood. I believe that there is one tiny part of me somewhere in my body that knows who I really am. I think this is the God that we are always speaking of. This is the God that we are always seeking. Is this the God? Is this the God? Is this the God? The God. The God. We are always seeking. Who was your first God? Mine was my mother. She was the one who taught me that there is no such thing as good or evil. Who is your first God? Was it a lover? A friend? A stranger? What did they teach you? What offerings did you bring to them? Is this the God? The God. The God we are always seeking. 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 If you are Black, will you join me on stage?
Does anyone else want to speak to the intergenerational piece and why it's important to have that conversation happening?
Yeah, well, I did a lot of research for this, the history of the LGBT scene. And, Jose and Gabe, I guess, were able to, concoct a script using this stuff, it was interesting. I mean, it was a teaching device really for people, I mean, as well as entertaining, so I thought, I enjoyed doing that, learning things that I didn't even know when I was checking this stuff out,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's super important also that to be clear that this work is grounded in the Tenderloin and the queer history of the Tenderloin, which is not actually super known maybe to like people in the city as a whole or whatever, country, nationwide. Like the Tenderloin has like a really, really rich history of queer activism.
Yeah, especially the transgender group. I mean, everybody says, the Castro section is sort of the gay section, but the transgender thing is sort of here in the Tenderloin, and it's been that way since, from what I've researched, since at least the early '40s. There have been transgender people here, living and working here,
In addition to the sort of getting to sort of like talk about the evolution of like gender stuff, which was really interesting, working, with Anne, just in general about like intergenerational queer community, like Jesse's piece touches on the AIDS epidemic and everything like that. And I feel like there's a whole generation of people lost, essentially, and so doing this work to like connect across generations is even more important because of that like sort of fracture through time. And so I think we're really lucky to be able to, connect with people through this. As young queer people, we're really lucky to be able to connect to other people through Skywatchers.
Yeah, I think because we lost so many people, there's a really interesting thing that happens when the older generation of queers and the newer generation of queers get together and have conversations. Because sometimes there are like actually like points of tension, right, around the way that we look at a lot of different things, and also some of the ways that like the older generation fought for a certain thing, and we're just like, girl, no, that was that was not it. Like thanks for trying it. Moving on. And then there are other ways where it's just like there are a lot of things that they went through and had to do that we know nothing about, that we didn't have to deal with because they handled the way that they needed to handle, and so just to be in a space where you're able to like be in a process of mutually learning from each other and growing with each other, I think is really dope. I don't know. Yeah, there's just really like beautiful mentorship, I think, that I'm really like grateful for. And like it both lets me be in a place of like grieving for what was lost and what we don't have, because I'm just like, yo, this is so beautiful. Imagine like hella more people were still here. Like I just watched the Ed Moff documentary recently that Gruntes Purnell put together, and I was just like, damn, what if Ed Mock was able to live a lot longer? Like, what would the Bay look like? And so, yeah, so it makes me sad, but I'm also just like so grateful of like everyone else that I do get to like be in conversation with, even if, yeah, like I said, there are points of tension or like difficulty or just challenges. It's a good reminder to like stay with the trouble if you have the capacity to, because there's a lot that you can get out of it.
It makes me think, like, Clara, you and I talk about a lot, like how Gen Z is like so queer, and like it's you know, the sort of mainstream like queerdo thing is like so much, it's quite salient in like, I don't know, just like the socio-political scope of today. And like we did not have that. and but it's not like the queer role models weren't there. So yeah, just like, I don't know, emphasizes sort of for me the importance of making those connections and having those people to look to and connect with.
Yeah, it's funny. I think also Skywatchers is like such a queer org, but somehow it kind of required like a separate space for that to actually like be able to live. And I'm curious how like that can actually bleed into some of the more like main like ensemble programmatic like elements. I mean, and I guess it kind of is. It kind of is.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, on the one hand, I mean, Anne will talk about this a lot, how like when Skywatchers first started, before any of us were involved with it, like how different the language was around queerness, and how much less acceptance there was generally. And I do think that there's like, what Skywatchers is doing is very queer, whether or not it's, you know, named that way. And yeah, I think it is like becoming more and more sort of just like present in the programming, even though it's not explicit. I do think that sort of just like the frameworks around how we hold each other, it's very, very queer.
Plus, we're all queer, basically, except for one person. So I think that's just like that will leak into the work, because we can't help but want to make sure that our lives are worthwhile and worthy, you know?
You know, just like the more queer the staff became, the more queer the work became, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense. You know, for people who might be watching this who aren't from the Tenderloin, like the Tenderloin's a very queer place and also a very Christian place. And so, you know, the beautiful thing about the neighborhood is it's just people living together and coexisting and, you know, having, you know, definitely moments of tension, but also, you know, a demonstration of just coexistence.
Also, it's about language. I think you're naming something about language that I think it's actually interesting that this is maybe part of the whole intergenerational thing, is like queer is kind of an umbrella that we are all adopting, but not everyone's fully convinced of it necessarily. Even the youth are kind of like maybe moving on to another word. So it's like there's also, we're kind of just like stuck in the cycle, the hamster wheel, trying to find the right words for ourselves. And so it might be called fill in the blank as a Tuesday night in the future, but right now it is queer because it's what we all know as an accurate assumption of what we all kind of share, a non-normativity or a different metric for success that I think queerness also embodies. Like Jose Esteban Munoz talks about all the time, like queer art of failure. Like even the show is not a failure, obviously, but it's like we're not working in the same standards as like ACT, obviously. So we're working with a different standard of what dope performance can look like. And I think that's what's exciting about working with this many different types of people with different language from themselves.
I think this was this is a part of Skywatchers that it makes it the sort of humbling, non-capitalist experience that Skywatchers is. Artists are very ego-driven. You need to have an ego. You need to say, yeah, my work is great. Please, you must see it. There's a reason why you must look at what I made. But in this process, we ask that you look at what we made. And so I think an interesting part of any Skywatchers endeavor is lending work and having trust that that work will be respected, and lending talents. And everyone lends something, everyone gives something. We sort of relinquish ownership. And in that way, it's a really collectivizing experience.
How long did it take y'all to learn that piece, the duet? I'm going to talk about that as being a, what is it, part of the canon of Anne's choreography? Like, what was the story of that?
Well, we learned like a little part for Anne's birthday when we were all doing the like,
yeah,
I don't know, we like surprised her with the pieces from her rep. And so we learned like the first, like, I don't know, 16 counts. Like we just did a tiny little bit and she was so excited. And then it was just kind of like, oh my God, we should learn that. We should actually do it. And Anne really wanted a lesbian story in Queer as a Tuesday Night. She felt that was really lacking from, which again, like there's a conversation there. But yeah, I don't know. Once we learned it, there was like a period of refining time with Anne of like detail work. I would say we spent like a solid, I can't even estimate the hours. Chin Chin came and helped us for a couple days. It was a whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and I don't think it would have, like, had we not had a place to put it, like we started talking about learning it before there was even, it was going to be in Queer as a Tuesday Night, and it just sort of like dragged and dragged and dragged. And if we didn't have a place to put it, like Queer as a Tuesday Night, like it just wouldn't probably have happened. Like too many other things would have come up. And I feel like that's like a lesson in this piece altogether, is just like, just don't take yourselves too seriously and just like put something together, you know, and what sort of like magic can come out of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. And also just like in hearing you, just the importance of making the space, or like having the space available for a thing to like feel like it has a place to go.
Does anyone have any closing statements?
Mostly just like big shout out to all the other folks that were in the work that weren't here today. Thank you all for being weird and making space and taking time. Yeah, to just be in process together.
Yeah, I look forward to round 3. Someday, somehow. There's so many stories of people like coming into their queerness through the pandemic. Like I've heard so many personal anecdotes and then like celebrity anecdotes of people like coming into their queerness, like finally having the space to like explore. So who knows when we come out of this, like the whole Skywatchers ensemble could be queer. Or who knows what we'll discover.
Queer cooties for real, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, queer cooties.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me participate from several thousand miles away. I have no idea how far Karachi is, but if you were to drill a hole from the San Francisco Bay right into the center of the earth, you would come out around where Karachi is, which is where I'm based. So I'm about the other side of the world from you. But sending love, sending joy, and talk soon. Bye.